I think we could use I'm thinking about the ba 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 ba
What's
ba.
that from?
What is that from?
I don't know. I recognize it
Was that is
immediately.
that Sanford and Son?
Oh no, is it? I think it is. Is
Ba
it?
ba ba ba.
I'm not sure. Sanford and Son. Well, I thought you and Patrick, you created your own melody for unpacking some shit.
Yes, we just
I
can't
think
unpack it out of the phone.
you know what? Let's give it a date. I think you'll do better if we give it a date and say let's have it by. You know what? New York is supposedly we changed our July 1st date to May 19th. We're officially opening up everything.
May 19.
Let it happen, man. Whatever's going to happen, May 19th is our big day. I'm horrified, but also
I can see that you're a lot more conservative about the whole thing than I am, as I've been living amongst them for 3 months.
well,
No,
you
and without with good cause. But I'm saying, do you take vitamin D or anything? Zinc, vitamin D. All
I
right, all right.
I do, but I also go for walks and I have an outside porch and so I can get outside. But I think if I lived in Florida, I would probably be outside more. It's just that where I live, we're so close. We're so much more populated.
I mean, I could go a day without, except for my brother, just outside walking around, really not engaging with anybody on a regular basis.
I've definitely become that cat lady that's happy staying in her house and ordering food from the outside world. I've definitely become, that person. I get out, I feed the birds, I go inside, I talk to my cats. That's who I am right now.
I'm going to an open mic tonight. I'm trying to. We had our open mic last Friday.
Yes.
It was a success, but no, none of the regular open micers showed up. I
Why do
think
you
that,
think that is?
well, there's all sorts of reasons, whatever, but it's because I think there's been kind of like camps brewing. This camp and this camp, and this camp was told not to go to this camp, right?
No.
Well, whatever. I don't know that that's happened, but
Okay.
it was odd that not one guy from that camp showed up.
Okay. So where's your open mic at tonight?
Tonight is the Divine Brewery.
Where's that?
It's in Palm Harbor,
Oh, okay.
and I used to go there a long time ago, and that was my open mic on Wednesdays that was the one I would go to over a year and a half ago. I was a regular.
What do they still have the open mic at the Dunedin Brewery? I used to go
Yeah,
there.
something's happened. They've moved it to Tuesdays, and it's not been released yet, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Well, so today is Wednesday, but it feels like Monday to me. It's been one of those days where things just aren't smooth, and that's how I affiliate Mondays, even
Go
though,
on, tell me more about your Monday.
well, no, it feels like Monday. So I'll be excited to see what kind of topics, because I know we had leftover topics from our Monday that we can get to. So tell me what are your topics you want to talk about? I've got a couple good ones, I think.
Well, the one topic I was like, how do you feel about people? Like I was watching this smoking. I'm on TikTok now, right?
Yes.
Very attractive woman, sitting in looked like a high-end car, and she's videotaping herself.
Okay.
And she's like, you gotta, be grateful for what you have and work through your problems. I'm going, she's won the genetic lottery, and she's cautioning everyone else, like, hey, I've got it hard, and you got to really work. You got to be grateful.
Was it a joke or was she serious?
Dead serious. It's like,
Oh no. See, and I've told you this before, and this is just my hang up. You tell me as a man if you feel this way. When I see women posing in bikinis and then quoting Bible verses, I struggle with it because I feel like you're getting my attention because of the body image, but then you're trying to take me on a Jesus road that I can't connect them. I get confused by that.
and I guess everybody's entitled to their speech about their life, but when your decision is crack, crab, or lobster, I mean, I don't have a hell of a lot of empathy. You've won the genetic lottery. You're
Yes.
5 foot not 10,
Yes.
stunning, high cheekboned blonde.
But
Now,
see,
it doesn't mean you can't be a doctor and you haven't worked hard, but
well,
just out of context, it looked like, oof.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe in her way, she does feel like she's helping because maybe her world, she doesn't see, how fortunate.
I mean, here's her dating advice: sit at the end of a bar wearing a short skirt.
No, no, no. She did not say that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm
Oh,
saying in my mind, that's her advice to women. You want to get a man? Just sit at a bar, wear a short skirt, wait for guys to come in a line, one after another.
I will tell you from experience, you can walk outside in your sweatpants with your hair in a bun and they'll still show up. You don't have to do anything special. You have to own a vagina.
I
That's
know.
it.
Now, that's not always it. Not all women have that experience, hon.
For the most part, I feel like no.
No.
All right.
I remember having a conversation with a woman one time, and I will not give too many specific details. Let me just say I'm having a conversation. Very nice woman, and for my money, attractive, but kind of girl next door, but not girl next door, stunning good looks, but good, just solid, nice looking woman.
Yeah.
Her friend was a little bustier, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not even as attractive. Just one for one. Maybe minor. And we're talking, having a conversation, and she goes, "Dick pics. I've never gotten a dick pic." And the one with the bustier one, like, "Oh yeah, it's a regular occurrence for me."
Oh wow. Yeah. Every woman I know of has gotten dick pics. It's wow. Okay. No, I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. I guess what I mean is overall it's easier for women to have sex than men.
Of course, but I'm not saying you can put many women in a bar and no one's going to buy them a drink.
Hmm.
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 I don't enjoy men trying to buy me drinks. I find it really pushy and
Unless
I
you had
guess,
nobody buying you a drink. What would you prefer? What would you prefer? Being offered drinks or not offered drinks?
that's a good question. And it honestly, at this point in my life, it's not fair because I have a very cynical view of it, right? I'm guessing when I was in my 20s, I would very much appreciate if men would buy me drinks. That's what I'm going to guess, that I would enjoy that kind of thing. But I will say, I guess, because based on my history, men have been so aggressive with me that at a very young age, I started getting very put off by a man because it came across as, now you have to talk to me. Now, yeah. And I'm like, oh, here, bartender, take my $10 so this person will go away, but I hear what you're saying, and I do understand that. Yes, everybody likes attention, everybody likes to be thought of in a certain way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah,
sexual human beings. We like to be thought of being as attractive
absolutely.
or desired.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that kind of goes along with one of my topics, which is, do you watch the television show Catfish? That's still on, Catfish.
Okay, if you could, what if you change one of your genetic lottery winnings? I mean, you're an attractive woman. Would you trade something to be taller or some other genetic difference?
Yes,
Blonde hair, blue eyes. What would you change? What would you trade? Would you trade
I
your
would
high
have
cheekbones or your straight teeth for something?
I would have smaller boobs so I could be taller. That's what I would want. I'm 5'4".
Would you go to double A's in order to get 6 inches?
6 inches is a lot. I don't. I. I,
How
I
tall do
don't.
you want to be?
So I get to even choose the cup size.
No,
I mean,
no. As you get inches, you lose cup size.
oh yeah, I would definitely do. I would love to not have to wear a bra. I'd love to be small enough to not have to wear a bra. I would definitely. I would take 4 inches. I'd be thrilled to be 5'8" and to have less boobage. I know that's not what men like, but I don't really care because I feel like for me personally, having big boobs has held me back in a lot of ways because it becomes the draw, right? It becomes about the boobs, and you
Oh
have to be
yeah, guys
careful.
can't see past that.
They can't, and you have to be, and as someone who works on television, you have to be very cognizant of toning them down so it's not about the boob, and it's and I understand for women that don't have boobs, they don't get it, and I respect that, but as someone who's carried around big boobs from the time I was 16, it is quite the burden. I don't appreciate it.
Isn't it? I hate to go off on this topic. Maybe we'll wrap it up in 30 seconds, but I was watching again on my TikTok a busty woman complaining about, hey, I'm more than this. I'm giving you guys good content. She's got 537,000 viewers
Yeah.
versus the flat-chested woman given the same content has, 36,000 viewers.
Yeah. It's a tough one because I will say this. Can, as a woman, can I just wear something that's form fitting, but also be appreciated not as just a sexual being? That's the hard,
That's the trick, isn't it?
that's the trick.
Oh,
And
but yeah.
yeah, so as a woman, I'm very cognizant of my body just simply because for me it has been a burden. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. It's been a burden because I've been treated as such a sexual being that I'm on high alert to not be sexual because I would just like to be treated like
No,
a person.
it's funny because I've fought late in life. I've finally come up with that reality because I'm not that aggressive man that sending this and whatever. So I've never lived the opposite of that. I've never been the person you would engage with because
Yeah.
would engage like that. But it must be exhausting to be an attractive female. Exhausting.
Well, I think it's exhausting to be a female because I think we're always trying to protect ourselves, which hopefully times are changing. I think times are different. A lot of behavior is no longer accepted. But then again, for me, dressing up and going to a bar with girlfriends, I'm on high alert because I feel like I'm walking into a den of wolves. You know what I mean? Because there's a bunch of strange men that think, well, she's at a bar.
Well, and this is now it clicks in my brain why women go to the bars with other women. Let's get a pack. So there's a little safety and security in a pack.
Yeah, absolutely. I dated a guy once who made fun of me because I wore big sweaters all the time. He's like, why are you always wearing grandma sweaters? I said, it's my shield of protection. It saves me on so many levels if I wear a big sweater. Then I'm not the thing. And I wasn't aware of it when I was younger until, of course, in high school, boys started making comments. Well, I immediately changed the clothes I wore because I couldn't walk down the halls because I'm this tiny girl with big boobs. And I'm sorry for all the women that want big boobs, but I think if women didn't, the ones that don't have big boobs, if they got them, they would think it was fun at first. But when it becomes your main draw, it is exhausting.
Mm.
But I mean, we all want what we don't have, right? So
right.
I would love to be tall. And I told you this, my biological dad, it was 6'4". My grandpa, 6'8". My oldest sister is 5'10". I'm 5'4".
What happened?
My mom smoked. I blame my mother. We each got shorter. Carol's 5'3". Kelly's, I think, 5 foot. We each got shorter. And I said, it's from smoking. But again, when my mom was pregnant, everybody smoked. It was not an unheard thing. Everybody smoked. But I think that's part of the reason I wish I was tall. Like, it's in my family. And so, of course, I'm jealous of the people that have it. But, I'm very fortunate to have been able to be healthy my whole life and to not worry about any kind of like health factors. So I feel like I'm grateful.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, what are your topics?
I want to talk about catfish because the latest story, now we all know Catfish, right? It's a TV show based on the movie. Catfish is now a term about someone tricking you that they're not who they really are, and they get you involved in a relationship. And then when you find out the truth, they're nothing at all.
And then 18 years of marriage later.
Then they're not at all. So the latest episode of Catfish is about Tyler and Stephanie. Now, you're going to love this, Tom. Here, guess how they met? Guess how Tyler and Stephanie met each other? I've never heard of people meeting each other this way. And I'm just wondering if this is going to be a new way or if it's a way that people have met. And I didn't know you could meet people this way.
I'm so freaking intrigued. Was it Craigslist?
Pornhub. They met on Pornhub because
how do you meet anybody on Pornhub?
Thank you. Okay, so make sure, yes, Tyler. So Tyler was working at a coffee shop during COVID. Coffee shops shut down. Tyler needed to make rent money. Tyler, who already was a fan of Pornhub, realized he could make his own pornos, and make money. So Tyler became somewhat known on Pornhub. You can look him up. You look up the latest episode of season 8 of Catfish. So Tyler's making porns. People are commenting. So Stephanie.
I mean, is Tyler unbelievably good looking?
No.
Is he making porns independent of anyone else? Just
I.
who's his partner in the porns?
That's a good question because Neve asked that question when they interviewed him. They said, okay, Stephanie started messaging him. And, here's the problem with messaging. We read the messages how we read them. We don't know the emotional or the sounds that are coming from we're reading it like, oh, he loves me, So Stephanie's messaging him.
Are you giving our show tip a little early in the show? How to meet men?
What about meeting on Pornhub?
Yeah, meet on Pornhub.
I mean, it's interesting.
Okay, let's go. I'm sorry.
So, they're messaging each other, and he explains to her how he got started was his deal is every time he makes a porno, it's with a different woman. So he actually goes out on the streets and talks to women because here's the thing on Pornhub. A lot of women will do it if you don't show their face. Okay. So Stephanie also has porn videos where she doesn't show her face. So Tyler's concern is Stephanie real? Because every time he tries to do a video chat, her camera's broken or her parents are in the hospital. Her parents are always in the hospital. So she just can't possibly do anything face to face when clearly she has the technology because she does porn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will encourage everyone to watch this episode and I'll shortcut it. Do you want to guess how the story ends up? Are Stephanie and Tyler, who has fallen in love with Stephanie, they spoke for 2 years when they never actually FaceTimed video for 2 years. He hung on and she kept talking and it was like, I love you. You're the love of my life, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to guess how it wraps?
It wraps when he realizes that Stephanie is one of 10. And Stephanie is the generic name for all these women that have faceless sex on her website.
Now, of course, the interesting thing is she'll send photos. She sent photos, and
now I'm made the fool.
So here's what I will tell you, because I would encourage people to watch this. He does find out that Stephanie isn't who she says she is,
What?
And Stephanie's actually married.
No way.
Yes. So, I find Catfish intriguing because I've done a lot of dumb things in my relationships. And of course, I've looked back and thought, well, you were foolish. Would I talk to someone for 2 years and say that Tyler said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her because of 2 years of emotional connection?
So who does Stephanie turn out to be? Was she the person in the videos?
Yes and no. I would encourage people to watch the episode.
Okay, no one's going to watch the thing.
You don't know that. Catfish is easy to watch. You can catch it on.
I know, but you're giving away all the secrets of this particular episode.
Stephanie is not exactly the same porn person. She is a real life person, and it's not like she's unattractive, but she's married and she just needed some excitement. And that's why she was on Pornhub, and that's why she was doing all the things she was doing.
Was she having sex on Pornhub?
Yeah, she was doing the videos. Yeah, she was doing porn. But here's the thing, Tom. How long as a guy would you continue an emotional experience with someone that you haven't actually had a video? It's so easy. FaceTime. Oh, he had an Android. She had an Android. You know what I mean? He's like Zoom. Come on, man.
Well, okay.
Tell me.
I'm not defending anybody, but this has happened. So we're looking for an explanation. I'm like, he's interested in her, but it's not like it's his consuming thing, is it? I mean, they touch base once a week, once a day, once a month.
Every day. They spoke every night.
Well, I see where it works for her.
Yeah.
And if the woman is engaging with him, then he's having fun at it as well. So, then you just start filling in the blanks. But you don't think about this when you get started. It's going to be 2 years.
No. And that's the interesting thing about Catfish, because then, of course, I went down the Catfish rabbit hole and I was like, what are you talking about? So many people they just want a love connection.
Right.
And because they want it so badly, they make excuses for the other stuff because it feels so good to get that endorphin, right? That
Of
hit of,
course.
I love you. I'm thinking about, how's your day, honey? You can tell me
Of
anything.
course. And I came up with some interesting information too. So remember about 12 episodes, I introduced the person I listened to on a podcast, and her prescription for love was don't kiss for 3 months.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And then I think we both pretty much agreed that's would be difficult
It would be difficult.
because especially to invest 3 months and then find out, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean, this goes against my app. So anyway, I'm listening to her. I find her podcast on my iPhone, and I'm listening as I'm walking the other day, and she's interviewing a woman who's also disagreeing with her idea about 3 months waiting, but the woman is not going to argue with her. So she's looking for different ways to not argue. But I'm listening. So anyway, the information comes out that the person that's the personal dating coach who says don't date anyone, don't kiss for 3 months.
Yeah.
She met her husband, and they've been married for 7 years or whatever now. He was a patron at her strip club, where she was a stripper for 2.5 years before they actually went out on a date.
And that's probably why she feels the way she does. I actually was friends with a woman who was a stripper, and that she learned so much about the psychology of men, because they'll talk to you and share things. And yeah, so interesting that she was a stripper though, because that's a whole.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I would not be against dating a woman because she was a stripper. That's an interesting kind of a facet of her life, because you do get engaged with men and you understand men on men's terms.
You do. I actually, when I first started dating after my divorce, I dated a guy that I found out he admitted to me after several months of dating that he used to be a stripper. And I have to tell you, it bothered me greatly. I get why he did it. He needed the money and he was struggling and all that. But it does take a different kind of a person to go in doing that, knowing that they're not doing it because they care about the people they work for. They need the money. It's a money situation. I'm not saying that's why we broke up, but it did put a little ding in the whole, like, I'm not really interested in that whole psychology of dating a stripper. I wish I would have known. I'm not really.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about, here's this guy walking into the club. She's with, over the course of the night, probably with, 15 different guys. Who knows what they're doing up in Canada? I don't know what the rules are, but it's probably not just them buying you a bunch of ginger ale drinks.
I don't know. I heard in Canada they're having a hardcore lockdown.
I'm just saying, no, I'm talking about 15 years ago when they met.
Okay.
When he walked into the strip club and he sees her. So.
Yeah. You know what? I love hearing how people meet. I think it's fascinating. And I think that when the world does open up, I'm going to try to be better about being aware. Because, again, based on my history, when I'm out in public, I'm in a don't fuck with me mode. You know what I mean? Because I've had men come up to me on the street in New York and go, give me your number. Because that's how they do here. And of course, because my mode is like, everybody fuck off. Like, I'm not open to it. I'm going to try to be better. Because I've joked with you. I've been in a bookstore and a guy asked me about books. And I'm like, I'm trying to look at my books. Could you leave me alone?
I can't meet. It's about how to meet men.
I'm just not good at it because I have taught myself to, shut it off because I don't like aggressive approaches.
Of course. And that was very aggressive.
But I think the whole catfish thing is fascinating. Meeting people on Pornhub is not something I had even thought about.
You can't meet anyone on Pornhub.
But like they were talking, like Nev and his co-host was talking about, well, maybe if you meet in a category that you're interested in, that would open the door to the relationship.
Perhaps, but see, he was a performer and she saw him. So the whole dynamic of a woman chasing a man is very limited to begin with. So he's got to have a lot going on.
Well, that's why they were hoping she was real, because he approached her. She started talking to him and, he wasn't chasing her. But anyway, catfish, I love it. I think it's interesting. Did you hear about the Chinese space rocket that's getting ready to crash into Earth?
I heard something about space junk the other day.
Yeah.
It's usually, yes, I have heard about it, but I didn't know the details. Did they know where it's going to land?
Well, they've narrowed it down. They said it's out of control. They've lost control of it. They launched it last month. And so they're talking about it's either going to crash, and when it crashes, it'll be like an airliner has crashed. So they said, within 100 miles, or it could burn up and then pieces could fall. So they've listed the places. This spacecraft goes around the Earth every 90 minutes. Imagine that. The Earth every 90 minutes, right? That blows my mind. So I've written down the places the potential places it can hit, because these are the places it's going around. Are you ready?
Mar-a-Lago.
New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
Chile.
Mm-hmm.
Beijing.
Ooh, we not like that.
Madrid.
Wow.
And the last location, New York.
What kind of crazy Chinese driver is riding that thing? That's all over the place. That's this way. That's that way.
It's out of control. So here's what they're saying. And here's my question for you.
Yes.
It's supposed to crash before May 10th. What's today? Today is Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th. So we've got 5 days. Do you think the government's approach to this will be, hey, we're not going to make that big of a deal, because what are you going to evacuate all of New York, all of Madrid? What are you going to do? Do you just lay low and hope for the best? They said that 75% of the earth is water.
Yeah.
So statistically.
Yeah, the mathematics take over at this point. I was just about to say that.
I like the math, but as someone who lives in New York, I'm like, should I go somewhere for 5 days? Because I don't like the odds that my city is one of the cities that it could crash.
It's like, it'd be very rare. I mean, mathematically, it's very rare.
But rare things happen all the time. So I told my niece, if I die.
Wait a minute. If rare things happen all the time, they wouldn't be rare.
Okay. I didn't mean to say it that way, but you know what I mean? We read about rare things happening and you're like, man, what are the odds that this guy got hit by a jetliner? Because there's that person, right? I told my niece, if I die with this crash, it's kind of a cool way to die, quite honestly. That what are the odds that Melinda died with this space junk crashing into Brooklyn? So I said, I want you to do my ceremony, because I just want to go on record. I think it's a fantastic way to die. There's nothing I can do about it.
We'll be playing this video right now.
It's a very good story. And what else can you do? But here's the other thing, Tom. Let's say it does crash into one of these cities. How much news coverage do you think it's going to get? Will they make a big deal?
Absolutely. It would be unbelievable.
Because think about it. If it crashes into New York, we've got COVID, we've got, all kinds of things happening in the world. And this is just another piece of fuckery where it's like, my God, at what point do we all just give up and go?
Okay, we send Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck to the redirected to Mar-a-Lago.
I think, you know what? I hope someone smarter than me has figured that out. They're meeting right now and making those decisions. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I read it with interest until it said New York, and I was like, well, now it's not funny to me anymore.
Yeah. You don't think that's funny. Well, remember when Skylab came out, fell out of the sky?
Is that the one that like it fell like on small villages and stuff? I think pieces fell down.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was no concern. Well, the odds are astronomical. Pardon the pun.
Yes. Well, we have 5 days to see. So I do want to go on record. If I die, I think it's a kind of a cool way to die. So I'm good with that.
I think, may I also say you'd probably have a little bit of warning before it would happen?
But would we?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have 18 minutes.
Well, yeah. Where am I going in 18 minutes? That's what I'm saying. Like they can't, for safety reasons, they can't panic everybody because there's
no chaos. But I mean, you could, I don't know.
Call my family and tell them I love them.
Go in the basement of the MoMA.
I mean, you know what I would do if I had 18 minutes? I would just honestly gather Alex and Will. We would go to our basement just in case we were far enough away, right? And I would FaceTime my family.
There you go. You're in the basement.
I would hang out in the basement.
Yeah, the odds, my God, could you imagine the odds of a direct hit that would bury your building would be unbelievably high.
But if it hits New York City, we're fucked. I'm moving.
Yeah, no. Or you know what? Start selling umbrellas.
But it's funny because I've seen it in international news, but I've not seen it locally. Because I think right now we're struggling with the reopening. Everybody, we're really focusing on right now. And this is just such a, hey, this could happen. This is, could happen in Madrid. It could happen in New Zealand. But no one's really like, hey, are you worried about the stuff hitting? So
this is the classic worrying about something you can't do anything about.
I know you can't do anything about it, but I just want to go on record as saying it's
all right. And I will document this and I will release it to the world if it happens.
Service. So
would you? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If somebody offered you an opportunity to buy $1 million policy, life policy for the next 15 days, for this particular specific incident, would you be interested in it?
Yeah.
How much would you spend for $1 million policy?
Ooh, that's a good question because it's a risk if I spend a lot. And it's only good for the next 15 days?
Yeah, it's for this specific incident.
Woo! Yeah, I would spend some kind of money on it. But then remember, Alex lives with me, so she wouldn't be getting the policy. So I would, you know what I'm saying? So I'd have to give it to, another person. So that's another thing too.
Carol, get ready.
Hey, Carol.
Hey.
It's not going to hit Florida. Yeah, I would spend some money on that.
Would you throw $1,000 at it?
Yeah, I would. Just
really?
As a good story for later, not because I think it would be used.
Right.
I think it would be a good story, and I'm all about, hey, check this out. This is a great story. Do I think I'm going to die in this situation that is worth $1 million policy? No, I do not. However, I think this is a fascinating time in the world during COVID. Here's $1,000. Yeah, I wouldn't do more than that.
No, all right, that's a lot of money.
It is yeah, I agree. It's a lot of money. Have you heard about the chip shortage and what's going on with all that? Has it affected you directly?
Yeah, now I've got to go with like a corn chip.
It has
everything. No, but it's all very interesting. They're talking about Taiwan going to invade. China is going to invade Taiwan so they can have access to their chip manufacturing.
It's been a problem for a while. Here's a story that I read. Because of the pandemic, so many more people are staying home. We're using electronics in ways we haven't used them before, and we're on them longer. We need more, so there's more demand, right? So businesses that are used to getting chips for their business can no longer buy them because people like us are like, we need more computers, we need more at-home equipment. So there was this one company in particular, and I didn't know this business existed, and I don't understand it at all. It's a portable dog washing situation where it's this inside thing. I guess they have them at parks and stuff. You pay a certain amount of money, and you go inside this thing, and you can wash your dog. Now, if someone were to approach me with that idea, I'd say, I don't think that can make money. But apparently, it's a real thing. But they can't get chips for it now because, of all the. So it is one of these things where Will, who is my daughter's boyfriend, builds computers, makes computers. And so he noticed it a long time ago. So he had been getting them and storing them. He's making a lot of money selling them because there is a shortage. So I knew about this story. I would have never known it on my own. And then I read about it in the news. So I just think it's interesting that we all behave as if we're in our own little bubble here, but we really are connected in very big ways. We don't want to acknowledge, where we get our supplies, where stuff comes from. And if there's a shortage, that affects everybody in the world, because when you think of all the technology that we use. So it's going to be interesting long term, because here's the other thing, Tom. They said they don't have enough people to work in the factories to even manufacture, because the factory settings for COVID, a lot of people have been getting sick. And so they haven't really figured that out yet. So,
were you surprised I knew about the chip shortage?
No, I feel like you work in technology. I mean, you have certainly had a conversation or heard about it. I mean, you work on television and I'm sure you've bought many supplies to keep your job. I had to buy a ring light. I bought a ring light. I bought a new laptop. I bought new cord. I bought all this stuff
Oh, well, now we know where the chips went.
to my
Your
house
name came up.
in Brooklyn before I die from the spacecraft.
Before
I'm
the
living my
spacecraft
best life.
smashes you to smithereens.
Let it be known I lived my best life before all this happened. But no, I think the chip thing is a big deal. I think it's going to really start hitting us harder because if we're just now noticing it, imagine they still haven't fixed the problem, right? Where are we going to go from here?
Well, hopefully the COVID gets tamed now that we have the vaccination. And then things start going back towards normal a little bit, even though there's no guarantees of that, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess time will tell on that one.
Did you have one more topic?
Well, I don't know if you're going to want to talk about this. You might want to talk about your own topic because my other topic is about how there's a private school in Miami that told all their teachers if they got the COVID shot, they could no longer work there because if people touch people or are around people that have the COVID shot, it messes up their menstrual cycle and they have miscarriage.
I saw that story. It's ridiculous.
It's because the owner of the school, a private, very expensive Miami school, so they said some parents are leaving in droves and new parents are clamoring to, the people that are very opposed to the COVID shot. So I feel badly, but I guess maybe we need this kind of a split so we can figure things out and see how this turns out for people, because I feel very strongly that down the road, it's going to be very clear what happens to people that think you can't be in a room with people that have the vaccine because they're going to.
And it's sad because they're teachers. It's like, really? You're a teacher? Isn't there some sort of oath? Leave your madness at home? Is
there a teacher oath?
I don't think so.
I don't think there is. I don't think teachers get paid enough to have an oath. Honestly, I think,
they only get 3 months off a year.
But it's spread, yes, they get 3 months off, but when you look at the time they put in, I have family members that are in the teaching situation. When you break down what they make versus the time they put in and how they have to honestly buy supplies and do different things out of their own pocket, it's kind of stunning. Tell me which company you go to work for and they go, you know what, you want pens and pencils, go buy them yourself, sir. You know what I mean?
Undoubtedly, there's some difficult situation. I also do know of a guy that gets to school by 8 o'clock, done by 2:15, on the golf course by 3, drinks regularly on Fridays with the gang, and very much low stressed.
Do you think that's the norm though?
I think you hear about the problems more than you hear about the people who have, oh, I figured this out. And then I also take June, July, and August off. I got it. Yeah, put me down for this.
Yeah, I think on this we'll probably be very opposed because of the people that I've talked to. And when you hear how school systems are run and the lack of stuff and the problems with the students, that we're falling very far behind, and these teachers take home all these worries and concerns about these kids. So
teachers are more, I think that teaching is an honorable profession, but if you get in a profession in which you're off 3 months of the year, you really can't complain about not getting paid enough. If you're not making enough money, you should pick another different profession.
Yeah, I know I disagree, but I hear what you're saying.
All right.
Yeah. Well, this is a fun way to wrap. Have you got a second tip?
You know what I was thinking about a tip? Take care of your back. Do you stretch in the morning or any time during the day before your treadmill?
I actually do stretch. I do. Yeah.
Remember,
I have an inversion table.
How often are you on that?
You know what? At least once a week. At least once a week I'm on.
That's marvelous.
Yeah, I used to use it every day. I was kind of obsessed with it, but that's what I do. And then because of where I place it, I have to pull it out. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow because I don't want to move it out. But I really enjoy the immersion table. And I notice a difference because if I spend all my time setting like this, you hunch and you have to stretch. And I follow a guy actually on Instagram. I'll share it with you.
Really?
That shows you how to do morning stretches and nighttime stretches to stay healthier.
I like that. I do like a little 5-minute routine. When I don't do it, I'm so upset with myself because it's been a kind of a stiff day.
Yeah, stretching is very important. All right, watch your backs, take care of your backs, and don't let anybody stab you in the back. I had that happen
Oh, I love
last
it.
week. So don't stab people in the back. It hurts. And
It's
they
a
won't
much
forget.
better tip than mine.
So I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise.
Thank you for unpacking some shit with us this Wednesday
Yeah,
on
Friday.
Friday. We're very excited. We have a guest, David Hollingsworth, with his book to talk about some life-changing situations that occurred to him.
Very nice.